today we are going to talk about general entries. Children, we talked in the last video also about the general entries and the rules for debit and credit. That is the golden rules of accounting. I repeat it for you before starting off with few other examples from page number 182. The golden rules of accounting for each of the accounts are as follows. For the personal account, children, the rule says that debit the receiver, credit the giver. For the real account, rule says that debit what comes in, credit what goes out. For the nominal account, children, the rule states that debit all the expenses and losses and credit all the incomes and gains. Now starting off with a question that is on page number 182. Children, the first transaction says that paid cash rupees 20,000 to Sham. So over here children, what two accounts are involved in this transaction? From the question only itself children, we have got to know that we are paying cash. So one of the account involved is cash. Okay, and other account which is involved is person's name is mentioned over here, that is Mr. Sham. So the other account which is involved is Sham's account. So children, the two accounts involved are cash and Sham. Now let us talk about each one of them. As to cash, if you remember children, we talked about it lots of times that cash is a tangible asset for business. So cash being a tangible asset, real account states that tangible and intangible assets are part of the real account, and the rule is applicable for the real account for the tangible and intangible asset. So the rule says that debit what comes in and credit what goes out for the real account. Now when we talk of in terms of cash children, when we are paying cash to someone, that is, it means that cash is moving out of the business. So in this case, the rule for the real account for the cash will be applicable as to credit what goes out. So over here we can see that cash is going out of the business because of the fact we are paying cash to someone. The other account which is involved in this transaction children is Mr. Sham. Mr. Sham is part of personal account, and the rule for personal account says that debit the receiver, credit the giver. Over here look at the transaction once again. Paid cash rupees 20,000 to Sham. So over here, who is the receiver of the cash? Yes children, Sham. Mr. Sham is the receiver of cash. So the rule for the personal account states that Sham would be debited because of the fact personal account rule says, once again I repeat, debit the receiver, credit the giver. So only one rule for the personal account would be used, that is Sham would be debited, and the other rule which we are using is for the real account in the case of cash, because cash is a tangible asset. So the entry would be, the general entry would be, Sham account will be debited with rupees 20,000 to cash account rupees 20,000. Moving on to the next transaction children, which states that paid rent rupees 1,500. Now children, when we are paying any of the expense, just tell me, do we pay it in cash or not? Yes, you are right. We pay the expenses in terms of cash. So over here also, though it is not mentioned, but the transaction itself means that the rent is paid in cash. So the two accounts involved in this transaction are, one is the rent account and the other would be cash, because rent is paid in terms of cash. Now look at each one of them separately. Rent account, rent is an expense, isn't it, for the business? Say if you have bought a building on rent and you are operating your office from there, you have to pay rent after every month to the landlord of that building. So same is the case over here. We are paying rent rupees 1500 and that too in terms of cash. So rent, if we talk about only this part children, rent is an expense. And if we talk about the rule for the nominal account deals with all kinds of expenses. So rent being an expense, the rule states that debit all the expenses. So rent account would be debited in this case with rupees 1500 because it is an expense. The next thing in this transaction is cash. Why cash? Because rent is paid in terms of cash. Cash being a tangible asset, the rule for real accounts will be applicable on it. And the rule states that debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So when we are paying rent for anything, that is maybe a building or an office or a factory, we are paying it in terms of cash. So cash is moving out of the business. So over here the entry would be rent account would be debited being part of the expenses, being part of the nominal account rule will applicable on this. And for cash it is part of the real account, it is moving out of the business in terms of rent. So cash account will be credited with rupees 1500. Now moving on to the next transaction children, that is paid salary rupees 2000. Now children, look here once again, salary, what is this? Is it not an expense? If you are a businessman or a businesswoman, you are paying salaries to your employees, is it an expense for you or an income? Yes, you are right, it is an expense for each one of us. So for a businessman, this is an expense as every month he has to pay by hook or by crook to his employees his or her salary. So salary account is also an expense for the business. So children, the rule of nominal account will be applicable on it. And the rule states that debit all the expenses and credit all the incomes. So look here, only the first rule of nominal account would be applicable, that is salaries account would be debited, it being a expense for the business with rupees 2000. What other account is involved in this transaction children? As earlier in the second example I said that paid rent is deemed to be in cash. Same is the case over here children. Unless and until salaries being paid into bank is mentioned or salaries paid by check is mentioned, we assume that the salaries are paid in cash. So the salaries being paid in terms of cash, cash is moving out of the business, cash being a tangible asset, it being a part of the real account, the rule applicable over here for cash would be debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So what is cash doing? Cash is going out of the business in terms of salaries. So we credit the cash with rupees 2000. So the transaction in nutshell would be salaries account debited with rupees 2000 to cash account with rupees 2000. Moving on to the next transaction children, which states that received interest rupees 500. Now children, when we talk of interest, interest is an income for the business. So children, it is also part of the nominal account but under the head incomes and gains. So when we talk of the interest children, the rule for the nominal account which would be applicable on this would be debit all the expenses but credit all the incomes. So the rule applicable over here would be credit all the incomes. So what is an income for the business over here children? Mentioned clearly is interest. Interest, yes, is an income for the business. Say a businessman has given someone some money on interest. So he is getting the interest rupees 500 on the money which he had given. So interest being an income children would be credited and the rule applicable would be credit all the incomes part of the nominal account. Now when we talk of interest children, interest again we assume that it has come to us in terms of cash. So for cash, cash being a tangible asset, rule for real accounts would be applicable on it, which states that debit what comes in and credit what goes out. In this case, it is clearly mentioned, children, we are receiving interest, received interest. So when we are receiving something into the business, we are receiving it in terms of cash. We deemed it that it is being done in cash. So cash is coming into the business. So that is why the rule applicable over here is debit what comes in. So cash is coming into the business with rupees 5,000 and it is coming in terms of interest. Interest being an income, we credit it with rupees 500. Moving on to the next transaction, children, which states that we have purchased furniture for rupees 4,000. Now children, when we talk of purchases, the rule applicable is different. When we talk of furniture, the rule applicable is different. Kindly understand it carefully. Kindly listen to me carefully. Now, furniture, children, we have purchased what? We have purchased furniture. What is furniture? Yes, you are right. Furniture is an asset for the business. So, furniture being an asset, what rule would be applicable on it? Children, if you remember, the real account rule is for all the assets which are tangible and intangible in nature. Furniture also is a tangible asset, children. We can see and we can touch it. So, what is coming into the business? So, children, when we talk of furniture, furniture is an asset. It is part of the real accounts. And when we talk of purchases, purchases are different from furniture. Over here in this transaction, it is clearly mentioned what we have purchased. We have purchased furniture. So always remember, in this transaction, we are purchasing an asset. Asset in terms of furniture for rupees 4,000. So furniture is part of real account. It being an asset, what is coming into the business? When we go to a shop, we buy something, that thing comes back to us in our home. Same is the case over here. When we are going out and we are buying furniture for our office or for our factory, that furniture is coming into the business and it is an asset. So furniture is coming into the business. So we would say furniture account debited as applicable rule for real accounts. And cash, when we talk of, when we buy anything, we are spending cash on it, and when we are spending cash on it, cash is getting decreased, cash is going out of the business. So cash being also part of the real account, both the rules which would be applicable in this transaction would be for real accounts. So the rule for the cash would be cash is going out of the business, so cash account would be credited with rupees 4,000. So children, today we have talked about 5 more examples, 5 more general entries from page number 182, 183, and we have applied the rules for the personal account, for the nominal account and for the real account on all these transactions. Always remember that each transaction may have more than 2 rules of different accounts applicable on them. That is, there can be a rule of personal account and a real account. There can be rule of nominal account and real account. There can be rule in one transaction of both the personal accounts, both the nominal accounts. You have to be very clear about the rules. Kindly go through the video and clear your doubts over the Microsoft Teams. Take care. Thank you. Have a good day.